Hello, my lovely friend. Welcome to our next episode here on the podcast Onto Purpose Over a Paycheck. I am your host, Troy. Yes. If you haven't already, please make sure you are following the podcast. You are leaving a rating, leaving some comments, sharing with us what your thoughts and what you're thinking, how you're feeling so far about this podcast. Helps us out with our algorithms, and it also helps us get out there to attract more listeners so that way we can always help out someone. You never know whose life we're going to change when we give a rating and share this out. You never know. All right, this episode today is titled "Letting Your Life Speak Louder Than Your Vision." Right? This episode is really going to focus on the embodiment, not explanation. All right, it's going to talk about the embodiment, not explanation. So there's a lot of times people will talk about alignment. I've talked about it a lot, right? I've talked a lot about alignment. But however, few people live it quietly. I can be pretty loud about alignments when I'm looking in coaching or when someone sparks that moment of conversation. But sometimes I don't need to speak loud, right? But there are times that I need to. And I'm not afraid to talk about the alignment. That's why few people live it quietly. Those who live it quietly are the ones that are trying to gatekeep the information. They're trying to keep it to themselves. They don't want to share it out. I don't gatekeep things. I share it out because there's a reason for it. Because my goal, my purpose is service to others. What I learn and I know what works, it is my job. It is my purpose to share it with other people. It is not for me to hold as a secret. It's not for me to hoard it. It is for me to share. And that's why I have this podcast. That's why I coach. That's why I do ebooks. That's why I do master classes. It is my goal to share all and everything that I learn, the good and the ugly. So the thing is your calendar is your real vision board. Your boundaries reveal your real values. Write that down. Your calendar is your real vision board. Your boundaries reveal your real values. Friends, vision boards are great. Don't get me wrong. I've made a few vision boards in my life. Did I make one for 2026? No, I did not make it. Because what I did is I shifted. And I'm using my calendar as my real vision board. My calendar, I've gone to the point now where in my level of manifestation work, becoming the signal, regulating my nervous system, I no longer say, I would like to have, or I don't longer to say, I want to desire this in the future. I put a due date. I come out and say, by this time, I'm going to have this. And I live in receiving mode. I don't say, I hope it happens. I say, by the 6th of this, by the 20th of this, I have received what I'm asking for. I just shared with you in the last episode that within 48 hours, I had money increase on a credit card because I spoke to the universe and said, I would like to have more money come to me, and I gave a dollar amount, more money to come to me in 1 week. How you make it happen is in your process. How you do it, it's up to you. I'm telling you, please give me, I don't want to say want, please give me, and I gave the dollar amount to me in 1 week. And the universe spoke in 48 hours and gave me what I wanted. True story. Because I'm aligned. I'm broadcasting the signal, the correct signal. I don't have urgency. And here's the thing. People will say, well, what happens is if you don't get it in the time span that you put on your calendar? I always say, there's a reason. But I'm not going to question that reason. Because remember, When you broadcast out what you want, when your signal is so strong and clear, and you put out what you want, the universe is going to do what it needs to do. It's got to start putting people, places, and things into motion. It's got to get you to be aligned with the inspired action it's going to tell you to take. And it'll happen. It'll happen. Because my boundaries are my real values, and my calendar is my vision board. Because I built the embodiment, I now have this full trust. It's no longer a messaging system. It is full trust. The thing is, I don't need to convince myself or anyone anymore. When I start to notice is like what happened in that situation the last couple of days in that 48 hours, I no longer need to convince myself or anyone. The evidence is there. Living as evidence 2026 theme for me. I just need now to continue to remain in congruency with myself. I need to be congruent with it. My nervous system is going to teach others how to be around me. Again, talks about that attraction. Talks about look at your friends. Look at your social group. Who do you surround yourself with? And when I say that, I'm not only talking about the physical state. I'm talking about who do you listen to on other podcasts? Who do you watch on TV? Who do you read? That is still part of that whole embodiment. I read books that I know that are aligned to my vision. My mentors are both currently living to deceased. I will reread some books because I just need that flow. Like I'm rereading the book right now. It's not you, it's your energy. I've never met Danielle. I follow her on TikTok and I read her material. I've taken a couple of her masterclass courses and learned from them. So again, your nervous system starts to teach others how to be around you. This is how leadership truly forms. And the thing about it is that when you start to develop that, you've got to let your regulation be your reputation. The thing about it is that too much people get caught up on their reputation. I used to be that person. I used to be so worried about my reputation of what people would think about me. But now, at the age of 48, I really don't give two rat's rear ends about what people think about me. What I'm doing is I am truly coming across as the evidence to show you that what I teach and what I coach people with does happen. My regulation in what I do is my reputation. What happened to me with my credit limits being increased, and let me tell you, it wasn't a small number. It was a significant increase. It just came out of nowhere. Even though, that credit card I've been working on to bring down, and I'm like, oh goodness, the universe said, let's just up it. But I'm not going to complain about it because I wasn't specific in my order either. But it happened. And that's because I'm regulated. But also, my body was going through an emotional state because I started falling back into the old identity. I started falling into this sense, and I did have to ask God, Source, Creator, Universe for guidance. I was like, I need signs. I spoke it into existence. I said, God, Source, Creator, Universe, I am regulating. I am doing the work. Give me a sign to show me the true journey path that is right? Is it this or is it something else? Show me the sign. How and when, that's up to you. But show me the sign. Now, I want you to understand how I said that. I didn't come from a statement of lack of or scarcity or distrust. I spoke it into existence as a command. I said, God, source, creator, universe, show me. And then I asked what I wanted to show me. I commanded. I don't beg for it, friends. Too many times people, because they're unregulated and their reputation comes is, I'm a beggar. We weren't born to beg for things. We were born to command them into our life. We can have anything and everything that we want, friend. And that's what I'm learning through this podcast, through these episodes every day that I come in and record and share with you what my notes for that day are. We command. I like that the vision board is our calendar, not going and cutting pictures. Don't get me wrong, I love it. If that's your jam, that's your jam. But I want you to understand that your calendar is also your vision board. I've read and I've been in master classes where people are like, all right, there's this trip that we're going to go on. I remember one lady saying that they were going to go on an Alaskan trip, and it was on this day. They said the trip is this day on this month, in this month. They put the down deposit. They had the money. They put it down deposit, and they said, we're going. They said, God, source, creator, universe is going to help us in the way to get there. Their calendar was their vision board. Their nervous system was regulated. They didn't live in scarcity or lack of. They commanded. They commanded. So if you want to step up that game, friend, you want to step up that game, you need to sign up, register after listening to this episode, click on my Linktree link, and register for the one-day event on February 22nd, 12 p.m. Eastern Time. Sign up for the masterclass called Get What You Want Without Forcing It. It is a one-day event, $55. It's not overly priced. $55. Gets you a spot reserved, only 30 people. Only 30 people. Once we hit 30, the capacity of 30, I'm shutting down the link and not accepting any more. So let me ask you this question, if you're listening, what are you afraid of? Because you know what? People are going to say, well, that's a lot of money. Well, you live in lack of. You're afraid. I've been there. But let me tell you, I've spent more than $55 on something, and it's changed my life. Because I wasn't fearful of it. And if you are in the process of desiring something that you want so bad, register for the class before it fills up. $55 gets you into my master class one-day event, February 22nd, 12 p.m. Eastern Time. You're going to be part of Get What You Want Without Forcing It. You're going to take away things and how to be in control and the commander when it comes to desiring all that you want. All right, friend. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure you're following. Make sure you're liking. You know, all the fun stuff. All right, friend. As I always say, you don't manifest what you want. You manifest who you are. And I will talk to you soon.